seems
right.
really long.
And we're live. We are now live on YouTube. Yay! All right.
It feels a little bit like, I don't know, I feel really old right now, but it feels like Skype with an audience. Like, that's kind of what
No,
it
I
feels.
get you,
Definitely does. I feel like we're playing a game of like whack-a-mole. It keeps popping up everywhere.
Oh, see, and I'm just seeing the 4 like icons on the bottom and like nothing on my screen.
Oh, really? You can click on one of us and it will show you us, or you can just like unclick yourself or something, and then it'll switch between different people.
Yeah. No, I can see everybody at the same time, so it's good.
Oh, that's nice. None of us get that.
Well, it's not on the big screen, 4 icons. It's on like the little 4 icons on the bottom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see that.
So if I look like I'm looking down instead of at my camera, that's why, because that's where you are.
All right, perfect. So we have no viewers, but in case someone's watching this later, I'm Allie, the Nature of Pages.
I'm Blue from Blue Sapphire Reads.
Should I go? I'm Salve I'm Salve from Cuckoo for Books.
And I'm Valerie from Valerie's Bookish.
Awesome. So, yay. Oh no, I forgot my note card over there with questions.
No, I'm like, where did mine go? There's mine. Under my book.
Okay, I have my note card. Oh, when I was supposed to be doing homework, instead I wrote a note card.
What am I doing? Sorry, my husband's helping me get better lighting.
Oh, no worries. All right, so girls, hey, we have exactly 1 viewer. Hi.
Hi.
Cool.
All right, so we got
girls might join in again too, even though he's never read the book, just so we get viewership.
Pardon?
My husband might join on his phone.
Oh, awesome.
Even though he's never read the book, just so we get viewers.
Perfect. There you go. All right. So overall, what did you guys think of Girls of Paper and Fire?
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it? I
didn't like it. If I didn't need it for like 2 prompts for my reads in December, it would have been a do not finish.
Oh wow.
I got so frustrated, like, and awful, and like triggered, like maybe like 75 of the way through, 50-60% of the way through, that I'm just like, nope, I don't like it. It's icky. And I thought, but maybe there's a little bit of hope, and then it didn't happen, and I was so angry. So I'm just like, nope. Oh look, I have more light. Thank you.
Hey. All right, so we've got 1 person who doesn't like it, and the rest of us like it, right? I think that was.
Yeah.
So this will be interesting.
Yeah.
Yay. Well, we're supposed to have different opinions anyway, and that's okay.
Yeah, I like it. I like that we all have different opinions on it.
Yeah, make it more interesting. That'll make it interesting. Mm-hmm. All right, so what would you guys have rated it?
I would have given it a 3.5 stars out of 5 stars, maybe. Like, I personally really enjoyed it, but other people would have had trouble with it, or what other people didn't like about it. Like, I'm not blindly like, it's the perfect book ever and it's amazing. I can definitely see where other people would have issues, but I personally did not take issue with it.
Awesome, yeah.
I rated it 4 stars because at like the first half of the story, I didn't like the main character. I find her super annoying, and like in the end, she's getting better. I think that's my opinion. So I give it 4 stars. 4 stars. Yeah, that.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I would probably give it like what you said, 3.5 out of 5. Like I enjoyed it, but I was also on a 12-hour plane ride, so at that point, anything sounds good. But I enjoyed it. I found it. I really liked the world they were in. It seemed like very like a whimsical world that you could kind of get into.
Yeah, I agree.
But definitely there were issues where I could see people read like, yeah, no.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, no, I didn't like Lei. I found her very wishy-washy. Is that like how you pronounce Lei? L-E-I? I just found her very like, I guess since I've read so many books recently that have this strong female character that I'm just like are obnoxiously strong, that now I have one that isn't at all strong, and it's just irritating me on the other side of this. Why can't you be like can there not be a balance somewhere? That we have characters who are really, really strong and totally out of their element, and then really characters who like do nothing and everything seems to luck out for them.
Yeah.
It's just there's no balance between. Like it's really frustrating.
All right, solid. All right, I warned everyone that there were going to be spoilers in the. So actually, on the live stream platform, there's a little bit of a description with links to all of our channels, and also I warned that there were going to be spoilers in this, so there are definitely spoilers. So starting off, I felt like the book really like hurt my feelings at the beginning with the dog. Like that was
yeah.
I was like, why would you do that right away?
Yeah.
Yeah, this point.
See, it makes you not like the rest of the book. And then, hey.
But I think it was useless violence. Like, it wasn't necessary to the story to continue. So that bothered me. Like, I'm kind of sensitive. So, like, I don't expect to be a book to be violenceless. But this one just wasn't. I don't see why it had to happen.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble hearing you, Valerie. Are you able to turn up your mic a little bit?
Yeah, I can try a little bit. Is it better like this?
That's a little better, yeah. Are you on your phone?
Yeah, I'm on my phone.
Okay.
I don't know how I missed the information that the live show was today. So I don't have my computer. I don't have my book. So I'm on my phone. So that's why.
It's all good.
No worries.
This.
Yeah, I feel like at the beginning, right away, since they did that, while it wasn't necessary, I kind of felt like sided with Lei because like right away there was something really awful. Like if someone straight up killed my dog, that would be awful.
Yeah. Also, like, I feel like it showed that they weren't. It sort of proved to Lei that she should be afraid for her dad's sake, because like she's already seen them kill. So like,
the puppies.
Yeah, the puppy, and then so, like, if you were there or if you were Lei, I'd be like, oh my god, they're gonna kill my dad. They killed my dog. What's gonna stop them from coming back and killing my dad if I don't follow them? But yeah, I didn't expect that at the beginning of the book.
I know. Like everything was so nice, and I was like, "Oh, this is actually a pretty cool world." And then right away, boom.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the writing style? Like, I found it pretty like whimsical. Like, aside from the plot, I actually liked the writing style. It seemed very I can never say that word. Nope. It seemed very nice.
Melodramatic?
Melodical. I can't say it.
Melodical.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. I found it very poetic.
Yeah.
I liked her descriptions of a lot of things and that there was a lot of feeling behind it. Like, that's why I really wanted to like this book. That's why it was such a disappointment for me, because I'm like, first of all, there's like a character named Blue, and there's so many things in this book that I really, really wanted to like. And then I was just like, no, I can't.
Yeah, I really liked the way she wrote. I think she writes beautifully, and I think it flowed. Like from one scene to the other, it wasn't really jarring or anything.
Yeah.
It's very easy to read.
Yeah, and I also thought that it was easy to be lost in her world because of the writing. Like every description for me sounds right, so it was like easy to, I don't know, get into the book.
Definitely, I agree with that. There was, like you were saying, there was never a point where I was like, we missed time here. Like, there was a jump.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Which I think, like, was really interesting that there wasn't, like, a long period of time between when it started.
Yeah.
And then when it was really compacted. Like, it wasn't just one day, but it was just like, oh my goodness, all of this took place in, like, these short amount of time. Like, it was kind of,
do we know how long it actually takes place, however?
6 months, right? I think it was like 6 months, like, I think, because the Moon Festival at the end, I think she mentions that, like, the festival marks that she's been there for about 6 months.
Oh, okay. Wow,
I could be
yeah.
wrong.
That's pretty compacted then.
Yeah.
Is Allie the only one with an actual copy of the book?
I think so.
Where? No, I got mine somewhere there.
Okay.
It's somewhere back there.
Yeah.
I borrowed mine from the library, so I kind of had to return it back in December.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was like, I am going, like, literally, I was like, I'm going to be on a plane for 12 hours. I am just stocking up on books. I got, like, 20 books for the flight.
Dang.
Just for the flight?
Yeah.
How long was your flight?
It was 12 hours, and they almost made me put it in, like, up above, because they were like, this doesn't fit.
You got to get, like, a Kindle or something.
Yeah. And then on the way back, my dad was like, hey, you should probably download the library, like, ebook app. Yeah. So that was nice. But yeah. All right. What'd you guys think about the 3 different casts? That kind of, like, for me, it felt like there was not really unnecessary, like, the cast system. Like, I definitely see where she was going, but I didn't feel like it added a lot to the plot.
I would have liked to see more description between the 3 different ones.
Same.
Because I felt like it was not explained as well as I would have liked. And so I was just like, I don't know what the relevance was. I don't know, like...
Yeah, I think
why because that was such an important part of the descriptor, like the novel being like, this is a girl of paper and this is, you know, and then there was nothing that panned out from it.
Yeah, I think it was a good idea at the start, but she just like didn't push it enough. It wasn't necessary at the end, I think.
Yeah, especially since it's like named after that. I feel like there should have definitely been more on that.
I also think, like, I would have loved more descriptions, because, like, when I read a book, when I try to picture things, like, I like picturing things very exact. So to have, like, the Steel and Moon casts be not, like, I had a hard time imagining, like, so are moon casts, like, fully animal-like, and, like, where the line is drawn. Like, I think this is one of the rare books that, even though it's YA, even though it's, like, not meant to be, I think it would have benefited from illustrations. Yeah, I agree with that. You know what I mean? Like, at the beginning, because I know a lot of books that do, like, have art inside them. So I think if we had like sort of a primer at the beginning, that would have, like, I love the book, but I spent the first 1/4 of it wondering, like, so what do they look like?
Yeah, definitely. The only thing I really, really remember about the main character's description is she has gold eyes. But otherwise,
which you can see on the cover.
Yeah, which I'm looking at it, so yeah. I kind of cheat with that.
No, but that's like, she looked very, and that's part of the description, is she looked very plain, but she had, I think they call them demon eyes, or eyes like fire. That kind of thing. So, like, that's the only description that we had for her, was her eyes.
Yeah. Oh, and I think that was my biggest issue with the book, was that, or I don't know if they're gonna solve it in the future books, but we never get a full answer why she does have those eyes.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, my husband's on the live stream.
That's our one. We have exactly one viewer, so.
Yeah, one viewer. Well, there was somebody said that they wanted to pop in. That's new.
Yeah, we had 3 viewers for a while, and then now it's dropped to 1 viewer. I think
she might be concerned because are any of you doing the BookTube games?
Oh yeah, no. I'm doing BookTube games.
Okay, because Team Neverland is reading The Girls of Paper and Fire.
Oh, cool.
They don't want to be spoiled.
So
I did post it, and a couple of people are like, I don't know, because I haven't read it yet, or I'm reading it in February. So
gotcha.
I did post it, and a couple of them said, we're not going to check it out today, but we will definitely check it out after we read the book. So.
Awesome, yeah.
Sweet. Yeah.
I'm surprised more people from Babe Fur weren't like, oh, okay.
Did you share it?
I haven't shared it on the group chat. I should probably do that.
I was kind of worried because at the first we were like 20 who were interested in doing the live show, and now we're 4.
I know. That got me. Well, it didn't worry me, but I was just surprised. Like, I know Haley and Jesse really liked the book, and so I was like,
definitely.
Well, yeah, it would have been even more outnumbered.
There were more people on the group chat though that didn't like it.
Yeah, Princess didn't like it. from Castle Library.
Yeah.
But she didn't like it for the same reason I didn't like it, was that there were some characters that were just like I'm just gonna come out. I really wanted Blue to be redeemed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Something to come from that, because she's had such a hard life and been taken from this family and put into this situation, and nothing seems to go her way already. And then at the end, I'm like, she has a moment for redemption and she screws it up. And
I know, yeah. I really hope she's in the next book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope, what I'd love to see, and I don't know, I don't know what the next book is, but I'd love to see them exploring more of the other casts.
Yeah.
Then, to have this one as the Girls of Paper and Fire, and then the next one maybe the Girls of Moon and Stars or something.
Ooh,
that would
and
be
then,
good.
we get to
That's a good
explore more of
idea.
the Moon cast, and then we get to explore, all the different other ones from that. So
That
I
would
think
be
that
really
would be
cool.
a different idea and then we get to see not only what happens with Lay, but then we get to see what happens with the other cast and how this war is affecting that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I would have loved not a sequel, but a companion book about Beale, but he killed her, and I was so sad. I really, really liked her as a character. I think she bring a lot to the story, and it could have been an amazing way to discover more about the moon, the storm shaft. I think she's half human, half human. So yeah, I was so disappointed when she died.
Wait, who is it?
Zell, I think that's her name. She's the teacher.
I needed to read. Oh, yeah. I needed to reread this, man.
Yeah, I haven't read it since December. I'm looking online for a list of characters.
Who's Blue again? What?
So
No,
Blue is
Blue was the really, really mean one, right? From the very first word she said was just and then after that it just went downhill.
She peaked at
Pretty much.
That was your best moment. So I went into this book expecting it was a surprise because I had no clue who the love interest was or anything. So I went into this book thinking that she was gonna probably end up with the Demon King because such is young adult novels.
I thought she would end up with the Wolf Guard.
Oh yeah,
that would have also been really cool too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was actually pleasantly surprised that she did not end up with the Demon King because I feel like that's been played out so much.
I agree.
Yes.
It was really refreshing as a teenager to be there's a book that is not being hey, this is bad. There's a book that's this is not a good relationship right here.
I agree.
Don't fall in love with him.
I agree.
And what is the name of the girl that did fall in love with him?
Aoki.
I hated
Am I pronouncing it right?
Every part of that.
Yeah.
I think it's just my sister was in a really abusive relationship and she kept going back to him. And I was just you literally have to sleep with a baseball bat beside your bed. You cannot keep going into this relationship. And that's what I saw was she's no, he loves me. And I'm no, he doesn't.
Yeah. But also in that way, it's really realistic, I think. Because I've definitely heard stories about that, like that, in those cases. And so, and as as from Lay's perspective, we were able to be that's not good.
That was one thing I really did was that she's you clearly are not seeing what the rest of us are seeing.
Yeah.
And so, no. Yeah, I did not like that whole relationship. It just made my skin crawl. I was oh, gross.
Blue, you are no longer showing up on mine, at least.
Oh, okay.
There you are. For some reason, now you just came back. Magic. Now you're gone.
Oh, I'm gone. Am I gone again?
Yeah, when you're not talking, I can see your little avatar moving around and talking. But as soon as you talk, it flips to you, and then I can't see you.
Oh, weird.
That's really strange. Let me see if I click on it. It'll work. No, that's strange.
I don't know.
Huh. Okay.
I wonder if it does it with everybody else. I don't know what to do. I'm
there you are. Now you're back. Now you're back. All good.
Yeah.
It says there's an error uploading your app, and I was just I don't want to touch anything because I'm worried I'm gonna either leave or I'm old. I'm much older than you guys are, so technology is not my friend.
I'm pretty sure I'm one of the young, like on the much younger booktuber spectrum.
Yeah.
I've gotten people like, "Are you 13?" I'm like, "Yes, I am past that. Thank you very much."
See, and I'm getting the adverse effect, which is like, why is most of your channel like yelling about you staying off people's lawns? And I'm like, I'm not that old.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I get that a lot.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was
Actually, I think at one point I said something on Twitter and I hashtagged it with hashtag stay off my lawn and just.
I think I saw that and I cracked up.
A couple people were just like, I don't get it. I'm like, you will when you're older.
Oh no.
That's so funny. All right, so if you had to type the characters from this is a little thing I had written down as an idea.
Okay.
As Hogwarts houses, what Hogwarts house they would be in.
I
Well,
have to be
ooh.
honest. I just read the first 2 books in the Hogwarts series, so
Okay.
I can't sort them. I
What
don't even know in which house I am, so like I
Oh.
can't sort them. That's for sure.
houses are you guys in then?
I am a Griffin Claw.
Sweet.
Ravenclaw.
Awesome.
Sweet.
And I'm a Hufflepuff.
I've done 20, 30 different sorting hat challenges, and I've been in Ravenclaw in almost all of them.
Nice.
I'm
Except-
always split down the middle.
I should take.
Pottermore
one
stuck me in
for the
Gryffindor, and I have no idea why.
Wait, sorry, Valerie, I missed that. What?
I said that I should take one to see which.
Yeah, go
house
for
You
I
it.
am.
should.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I will find it later.
Even if you don't know like what it means, it's just nice to be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm this.
Yeah.
I'm a part of this huge house community.
Do you guys watch Thomas Sanders?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay, have you seen his Sanders sides with his personalities being sorted into Hogwarts houses?
I haven't.
No.
No.
It's so cute, but it's anxiety is feeling very out of place, and so as you do, so they decide they're all going to sort into into different Hogwarts houses, and so the prince is just like Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, Slytherin, and that's the show.
That's pretty accurate.
Well, you think, but then Thomas reins it in, and it's just like, no, these are the different qualities from each of the different houses, and how each of them fits into each of the houses. It's kind of cool. It's a
That's
really
awesome.
cool. So yeah, definitely check that out. I'll see if I can find the link and post it to the chat. And
Definitely.
what was the other one? I have a link to all the Pottermore questions, which I think is the most accurate.
Mm.
And I think there's like 30, 40 questions on there. And I've had like all my friends do it over here, and
That's
they're all
awesome.
Gryffindor. They're all Gryffindor.
Honestly, I made my teachers take it in school
Aw.
during finals week. I was like, we're not doing anything else, so you please take the Pottermore test.
That's cute.
So I would
and
actually
Pottermore sorry, go ahead.
go ahead.
Pottermore the website put me in Gryffindor.
Oh, interesting.
And I'm not.
See, I did it. I've done it a bunch of times, and I usually get Hufflepuff. But one time I got Slytherin, which I'm not a Slytherin.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
And that's my second. That's my second house.
Nice. My second house is Ravenclaw, but my friend is a Slytherin, so if there's like traits rubbing off, that's why.
The question,
sorry,
I had
I
two
just-
questions that I've written down, and the first one is, did Blue deserve redemption after her childhood? What on earth is that word? Hardships. I'm like, what is hardships? What am I doing? Hardships.
Wait, Valerie, sorry, we can't hear you.
Oh, I'm
I'm
sorry.
It's okay. I just gonna answer these questions really fast because I see that it's 7, so I have to go in like
Oh.
1 minute.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
I'm sorry.
But no, wait, no problem. But yes, I think that Blue deserve redemption because I don't think that people should be defined by what happened to their childhood. So yeah, that's my opinion. I think that she would deserve a second chance in life, and that she just haven't have any chances.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so this will be all. I'm so sorry.
No
I
No,
worries.
don't be sorry.
No.
Thank you for coming, Valerie.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
It was super nice. Thank you for organizing all of this. And I will watch the end of the live show tonight.
All right.
Yeah,
See ya.
great.
Thank you so much.
Bye. We'll try to do it again when you have a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
This
I
is
would
fun.
love to.
Yeah, this is really fun.
Yeah.
Okay, bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
So I agree with her. I think she's a jerk, but also like she deserves second redemption. Like she doesn't deserve it, but I feel like you can still be given it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that I personally think like at the end when she gives Lei the reason for why she tattled, like I thought that was very reasonable, especially of her background and what she's been through. Like if my best friend also went through something and was punished for it, and I see another person doing the same thing and not getting punished for it, and after everything and like all as a kid, I would probably, I don't know if I do the same thing. I can understand it.
Wow, that was really skippy. Like it kept cutting in and out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did it do that on your end, Blue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
But it's okay. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
That like,
Yeah.
you see one person doing something and there are consequences for it, and then somebody does the same thing, and there's no consequences, and you see a sense of injustice and unfairness, and I can totally understand that.
Definitely.
Especially if it's your best friend getting punished.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. At school, if my best friend was like sent to the principal's office and someone else did the same thing and they weren't, I'd be really mad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The other question I had, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say that I would love to get like I know a lot of YA books do like short stories and things, like short story collections. So I think I would really love one from Blue's perspective.
That would be really cool.
Like
I would read
that.
Right?
Like growing up among the palace
when
officials.
You said Blue, I thought you meant me. I was like,
child.
I'm like, I think I have poetry somewhere, but it's awful. I don't know.
Yes, we'd like a short story from your perspective about this book, please.
Yuck. Finn.
Oh, no.
The only other thing that I wrote down is what happened.
I think we lost Salve. Salve.
Oh, Salve, you're still there?
There we are.
There we are.
See, I can see her icon, but I couldn't hear her.
Yeah. You froze on my end.
Yeah, I am gonna move. For some reason, like that end of the room doesn't have Wi-Fi. Strong Wi-Fi.
I have a friend of mine who does that exact thing. She's like, I found one spot with 3 bars. It's like this one, like 2 foot by 2 foot area beside my bed.
That's funny.
That's all she has in her whole house. She's like, it's 2 bars.
Gosh.
It's 1 bar in the kitchen, but right beside my bed, I have 3 bars.
See, I got really lucky. The best place for Wi-Fi in my house is this room. So.
Oh, sweet.
I got lucky.
See, and we have Wi-Fi all over, but it's not bad. It's just really slow.
Gotcha.
Especially when both my kids have iDevices and my husband has an iDevice and the Apple TV going, and there's just everybody's using it at the same time, and I've got my phone and on my computer. So
oh my.
Trying to upload a 3-minute spotlight video takes close to 4 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. But then I'll go over to the library or I'll go to the church where I have the Wi-Fi, and if nobody's on it,
that's nice.
Sweet.
It's crazy.
Dang. So what was the other question that you had?
Does what happened between the king and the girls, would you call that bestiality? Because, and I know that we addressed that a little bit in the chat, and somebody said, well, technically, because he has, like, the idea of bestiality is that you don't have that consent from an animal, and in this case, you do because they're sentient. So is it like it's straight out rape? No question.
Right? Yeah.
Definitely sexual abuse there. It's definitely awful.
Yeah.
But would it, like, does it cross the line because he's not fully human, because he has that
I would
animal
say
aspect?
that it is not because of the consent thing. He is the one that did it to her, and so I feel like that was a conscious decision as well as if it's because he's not fully human, then the same thing applies to all like the Fae books.
Yeah, I read the I read that was the author's defense when people were coming at her for like, oh, it's bestiality, and it's like, well, what about all the Fae books or the mermaid books or the vampire? Well, they're not fully human either. But I would have to say that it made me a little iffy. Like,
Yeah,
I knew
it definitely toes that line.
Yeah,
I don't think it crosses it.
Yes, that's a great way of putting it. It toes the line, but it doesn't cross it.
What do you think?
I was like, that was one of the ickiest parts to me, was seeing him described as like this animal.
Definitely.
And then what happened with him and the other girls, and then what happened with him and Lay, and I was just like, this is so gross to me. Like,
do you think that's what the author intended?
Because I live in farm country, and most of the animals out here have that
Gotcha.
hooven like back end, that the idea of them and a human being just kind of really grossed me out. But I think for me it was, but I think you're right. I think because that consent was there, that it just kind of walked that really thin line.
Yeah.
And didn't quite cross it, but still was really icky.
Yeah. I think the author might have intended it to be that icky. Like, you physically go like, no, when you read it. And I think that's the reason why. Like, she might have meant for that. But yeah.
Those were my only questions.
All right. Did you have any?
Did you have anything, Salve?
I didn't have any questions prepared.
No worries.
No, that's okay.
Just like
general discussion is good.
You had to get up early, so that's your story.
Yeah, that is my story.
Yeah.
What time is it where you are?
It's just about 8 a.m. So I woke up at 7 a.m.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's early.
That's
I wake up like
I'm
10 to 7 every morning to get my kids ready and out the door. So
I'm the resident teenager, so I am all for more sleep.
Sleep, same. Yeah.
Well, it's 10 after 6 here in the afternoon, in the evening. So
it's 4:09 p.m. here.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're about I'm trying to think, you're close to the coast, are you?
Right, relatively. Not super close, but close enough to be on that time zone.
No, my time zone changes. So like my time zone, doesn't change.
Oh, okay.
So, because I don't have that time, I'm spend half the year on mountain time, and I spend half the year on central time. Oh, you okay?
Sorry. Yeah.
Spider?
Yeah. Sorry. Part of a sticker came off of the thing that's holding this up, and I have severe pidikionophobia, which is the fear of stickers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I made a video about it actually last Monday. I can't, like, book stickers, the worst thing in the world for me. I can't do it.
I will have to watch that video.
Yeah, it's really strange. I have no clue where it came from. Just literally ever like my entire life, like a fireman would try to put a sticker on him and I just flip out.
Oh.
So it's really strange, but nope.
Yeah.
And so part of the sticker came off of I have a little stand right here.
Yeah.
It's usually my bedside table. But it was made.
No, when I said spider, I honestly was like, for you, I guess it would just be the same reaction.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
A spider went across the street.
A spider I could handle. A sticker I could not.
See, and if a spider crawled across, I'd be like, I've got a tissue somewhere. I can just squish it. But if a mouse on the floor, you will hear me screaming without.
I've never seen a mouse. Like,
see, we were in Kenya for 8 months, and I had a rat about that big run up my skirt.
Oh my gosh!
I thought it was our neighbor had just got a new dog, and I assumed it was the puppy. And I was just like, I felt a little nuzzling on my ankle, didn't think anything of it until I turned the light on, and that thing bolted. And I screamed. I screamed a lot. But now, our church just got a cat because we had a mouse problem and one tore across the stage, and I'm like, I just about passed out. I cannot handle it.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Not as bad as crickets or heights, but yeah,
I don't mind crickets. Like,
I don't mind
a
crickets.
few years ago at my school, we had a cricket infestation, which I honestly, I don't mind. Oh, it was a grasshopper. But either way, I don't mind either of them. I was like, yay.
See, and grasshoppers, I don't mind. I don't know what it is about crickets. My mom would say that when I lived in Toronto, we had one wall that we took the drywall off, and it was like crawling with cockroaches.
Ew. Okay, that's
and
gross.
so ever since that moment that there's any kind of beetle or any kind of anything that's small and black just gives me the heebie-jeebies. But I'm like, it's only crickets. Like I've held cockroaches, I've held other bugs before, I've held spiders, but crickets, I don't know what it is. They just get me.
That's funny. One time there was a cricket stuck in the ventilation system of my school one time, and so all of a sudden in the middle of a math test, all of a sudden you'd hear a cricket bounce by.
Yeah.
And then so like over like 3 weeks, we just have a cricket.
And
hilarious.
once you hear it, like you're insane trying to find them. Like we had this paneling that we couldn't get the cricket out, and so it was stuck in there and it was echoing all over the kitchen, and I'm like, I hate them so much.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, I had one pin me to my couch. My husband went to a class and he left in the middle of the morning, and a cricket crawled under the door, and I climbed up on my couch and wouldn't get down until he came home to us, like 4 hours later. I'm like, just kill the cricket so I can get down.
That's so funny. I just realized I don't think there's any mention of bugs in most stories I read, like mosquitoes. Maybe.
Oh yeah.
It seems like a thing you'd have in humid lands.
Yeah, but they want to, I guess, because it doesn't really represent the story that
that's
much.
true.
Like, you'll probably, like with Percy Jackson or with some of the other like younger kind of series that you might hear more mention of a mosquito bite, or because they have gods of goddesses of nature and that there's that kind of connection. But yeah, for the most part, they try to kind of stem to more positive things or more story related.
Definitely. Awesome. Well, I don't have any more questions.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the different houses that they'd be in now that, like,
I think that Lay would be a Slytherin just because she refuses to go with what the other girls were doing, and she knew like she was not going to do that, and that was it.
See, and I would have put her in Gryffindor for that.
Okay.
Because
I
just
put her
because
in
the bravery aspect of standing up for what she was and standing up for who she was, and like being brave enough to tell, her name has escaped me again, the one who loved the king,
Aoki, that you're wrong, and having that bravery to stand up, like those were Neville qualities, right? That's true. Standing up. That's a good point.
Yeah.
So like I just for that reason, I would put her name. I want to call her Gwen, and I know that's wrong. Ren. Yeah, Ren. I would put her in Slytherin because I think that she was able to. I don't want to use the word manipulate, but I want to say that she was able to kind of read the different situations and be who she needed to be in each situation. That's true. And I think that adaptability is very Slytherin.
I can see that. Yeah, I can definitely see that.
First off, I would have first thought would have been to put her in Gryffindor, but the points you made,
that's true,
I agree. Yeah. She should be in Slytherin. Yeah. And even I
drive my friends crazy because I put them in houses, and then they take the test, and they're like, "How did you know that?"
That's funny.
Because one of the other teachers at my church, I'm like, "You're Hufflepuff, right?" And she's like, "I don't know. I've never taken the test." And then she comes in the next week. She's like, "How did you know?" I'm like, "Because I'm a Ravenclaw and I can read people.
That's awesome.
I know things." Sorry, my head is bugging me.
No worries. Great, yeah.
I'm trying to think of like the wolf. I don't know if we knew enough about him.
Yeah, I feel like we need more information
to be able to read him. I'm gonna say, and I can't even say her name again.
Right. Aoki.
I am bad with names. I'm sorry. Aoki, I'm just gonna say she's straight up Muggle because I don't want to risk offending anyone because she's such an irritating character to me that she just didn't see what was there and she's just like, no, I want to be loved and he loves me, and I'm like, no, he doesn't, sweetie.
Yeah, if like anything, as a Hufflepuff, I would probably say Hufflepuff because at the beginning she's kind, she wants to make friends. And so just based on that at the beginning, I would say she was Hufflepuff.
Yeah. Before she was all excited to be the king's concubine.
And I feel like over the story she actually like changed as a person because of that, and that's what leads to all that.
I think it would be really interesting though if this is sort of the start of like if Aoki loves the Demon King, if it sets her up for like a role as a villain in the future books. Like then she'd become more interesting. Like just to see a paper girl ultimately side with the Demon King, and
that would be really interesting.
It would be really interesting, but I've seen characters that are very wishy-washy and very like underdeveloped become villains before, and it doesn't really play out that well. Like I keep thinking of there's we watched 24, and when the president became the bad guy, that I was like, but he's stupid. And like he can't plan all this stuff he's supposed to be planning because he doesn't have the intelligence for it. Like, there's no like it's a wishy-washy, badly developed character, and
maybe she'll become like a sidekick or something.
I was thinking
I could definitely see her being like a minion. But I could see her being the mastermind.
Yeah, definitely not the mastermind, but I was thinking more of like, you know, those silent bystanders kind. Like she could stand by the king's side and he could be murdering half the country and she's there with like a smile on her face because he loves her.
And that would definitely throw in like Lay would probably like if that storyline happened, they'd be like, at some point you're gonna have to kill her. That whole storyline. That would definitely be interesting.
Yeah. Or try to like turn her side and like So that'd be
and then again the question of will she have that redemption? Will that moment come for her?
Right. Yeah.
You know?
I feel like this book was really good for me, but I also feel like it was setting us up for a sequel. Like you know how books are supposed to be good on its own, no matter if it's part of a series. But I think a huge chunk of this book was also like giving us questions and then telling us to wait for the sequel for them to be answered.
Did you see me talk about Malice on my? I think I ranted about that book for a good half an hour. It's an entire book of nothing. It literally, I can tell you exactly what happens because all it does is lead to the second book. There's a prophecy. Everybody thinks it's going to be one guy, but it's the other guy. You want to know what happens at the end? The mom goes to the main character and says, "There's something I have to tell you." And he says, "I know, Mom. Tell me later." And that's how the book ends. That's the whole book. That is 500 pages of nothing.
500 pages?
Oh my God. I think it was 564 pages or something of nothing.
Insane.
It was so awful. And I think the only reason I read it is because somebody recommended it to me. Because I went through all of my prompts, and for the life of me, not a book I would have picked. So I have no idea why I picked it. And then I read it, and I hated it.
I definitely think there's probably like a little like spoiler or foreshadowing here, because at the top I have the like an edition with all the notes that the author gave at the end.
Oh.
And it says at the top, what might book 2 be called on this page? So I definitely feel like on this page there's a hint somewhere, but I have no clue where it is.
Oh.
See, and mine basically just had websites and phone numbers you could call if you're being abused.
Yeah, that was mine too.
I was just kind of like, that should be at the beginning of the book.
Yeah.
If there's going to be that kind of content warning, you need to put that at the beginning of the book, not the end of the book.
That's interesting. You know, I've got a whole entire, like, all of chapter 6 is written in notes, and then
my
parts of different chapters have little author's notes and like little side stuff. And I like that because I love like seeing author in like
Same.
what they were thinking.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
You guys both obviously read the paper copy because you have them, and I did too. But would you guys be interested if there were an audiobook in trying to see like the different voices or different perspectives or
I think so.
intonations?
I've honestly never listened to an audiobook all the way through. I started listening to Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda on audiobook, and I just couldn't get into the audiobook, but then I read the book and I loved it. So audiobooks don't really immerse me like the way I want them, like regular books do. So ebooks are fine and other books are fine, but audiobooks just don't do that for me.
Yeah.
Who was I talking to? Oh, I'm doing a buddy read with Alyssa, and I, like an idiot, downloaded an audiobook which expired like yesterday, and I still have half the book to finish. So I'm like, crap, I have no book. So I found it on e-reader, but I don't like reading on my phone, and it's irking me to no end. But I'm determined to finish this book. But again, it's one of those things, like I love listening to audiobooks but it depends on who the author is.
Gotcha.
And it depends on who the reader is as well, because I've listened to some that are so good. Salt to the Sea was a book that I wasn't sure I was going to be a fan of, but the audiobook had 5 different people reading it. So like the book itself has 5 different perspectives, and so to have 5 different people reading it, all with different perspectives and different voices, it was really, really good.
That's awesome.
And I listened to Ender's Game, and it did the exact same thing. The author said that Ender's Game was meant to be performed. It was not meant to be read. So when I listened to the audiobook, at the end there was the author's note, and he's like, and it literally is meant to be performed just like you just heard. And I was like,
I'm gonna check that out.
I think that there are elements to audiobooks that really are good.
Yeah, like for Sadie, it was like it's told in podcast form, and I would see myself really liking that because they actually apparently do, like a little podcast with it and be like, and today on this news report, and then they flip to her perspective, and that would be super cool. I would be there for that.
And I listened to Ready Player One. And I honestly wish I had the book with it when I listened to the audiobook, because there was so much in depth that I could have easily have skipped over.
Yeah.
But listening to Will Wheaton mention himself and call himself a geezer and actually like stop and kind of hear his voice crack a little bit when he calls himself a geezer, it's really, really a funny point in the book.
That's awesome.
That I was just like, that I wouldn't hear if I were listening, if I were just reading a book. So like, I think audiobooks definitely have their place. And yes, I've had some really bad ones that I've fallen asleep. I rented one, like you said, on a flight. I rented one on the way home from visiting family, and I fell asleep. And for the life of me, I don't know what the book was. I remember a prison.
Oh my gosh.
And I think it was fantasy, but I have no idea what the book is. Like, I could probably post it on like Twitter and be like, does anybody know what this audiobook is? Because I have no clue. I dozed off and just deleted it because it didn't capture me at all.
That's so funny.
So, and then I listened to, I'm sorry, I'm taking over the chat a little bit.
No, you're fine.
I listened to Bloody Jack, which is really, really an interesting book about Mary, who sneaks aboard a ship to become like one of the ship's boys, and nobody knows she's a girl. Like, it's a really fascinating read. It's very
I read one like that,
really, really strong. And the girl talks with a Cockney accent on the audiobook, and it was so hard to get into. I was just like, because there's only so much of the thick accent that you can just be like, okay, I'm gonna watch some Sherlock Holmes so I can hear what an actual English accent sounds like. Because this is ridiculous. But it was a really interesting book, but I don't think I could handle reading any more of the series by audiobook just because of that.
Yeah, I don't know. It would be interesting. It depends, like you were saying, it really depends on who read it.
Yeah, I agree.
My sticker is still on here because I refuse to take it off. I just realized that.
Yeah, I would probably, like, if the second book was going to come out soon, I would, like, say if the book came out next year or late this year, I'd probably give it a reread through audiobook.
Yeah, I can see that.
And it would be good to find out like how to pronounce some of the names too.
Yeah, definitely.
Or a little like what did I listen to that the two, oh my gosh, what is it? The One Dark Throne? Two Dark Crowns?
Three Dark Crowns.
3 Dark Crowns, 2 Dark Thrones, 1 Dark Reign. Something like that. Anyway, I listened to those and I was listening to it and they're like, by Kendara Blake. And I was like, oh, it's got a 3rd syllable. Okay, not Kendara, Kendara. So good to know. Like, and it's just things like that. Like when I was looking at your name, you're like, I'm Salva. And I'm like, okay, Salva. Got it. Because like there are some names that are written differently than they're pronounced. And I was just like, Kendare. Nope, Kendara. So those audiobooks are good for that reason of just knowing how to pronounce.
I agree.
That's why, sorry, I just shook my computer. That's why J.K. Rowling put Crumb mispronouncing Hermione.
Hermione, yeah.
So she could literally say this is Hermione.
Yeah, because up until that point, I was pronouncing it like Hermione or something like that.
Yeah.
And mine was like Hermione. It was like Hermione. And I was like, oh, that's a unique name. And they're like, Hermione.
I am 4 books in and you just now tell me this?
Yeah.
All right, well, it is almost 4:30.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and it's 6:30 here. So we should go because I have to eat supper because I'm starving.
Yeah.
And my kitchen smells really good. we have chicken and fries.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining.
Yeah, we'll
doing
definitely
this.
have to do this again.
Yeah, thank you. Like. Thank you for putting everything together, Allie.
Yeah,
my pleasure.
Much,
no problem. All right. See you guys.
See you.
Bye.
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 Bye.